that game
USF.
gets a lot more interesting, especially if they wind up stumping the mud hole into Boise here second half.
Absolutely.
Because their defense has been lights out. If you've, I don't know if have you seen any of it today?
No, I haven't
Did you
got a
watch
chance
any?
to. No.
Their defense they've played really good. They've shut Boise down. A gentyless Boise, but Boise nonetheless. A ranked Boise.
Ranked Boise.
And so they've been really good on defense. And if they wind up winning, 2 or 3 scores next week in Gainesville, that gets really interesting.
Oof. Yeah, that's in Gainesville, right?
Yeah,
okay.
It is.
We'll talk about that next week. All right, hi. This is the newest podcast on the block. Hell if we know. I'm Brian. This is Chris, and we're just two passionate guys that love college football, sports in general. But this podcast, generally this time of year at least, will be primarily about college football and some pro football mixed into. We're brother-in-laws, so there's that. This is the introduction part of the video. Generally speaking, we're just going to go after it right away because we don't need this niceties and chit chat and stuff. So, hell if we know is apropos because we don't know shit, and we'll tell you that, but we're going to try to pretend that we do, and you're going to see that every week for the next few weeks. So, enjoy that. So, let's get right into the games. There we go. Okay, so
nice.
We got the college football season guide here. The first week of games. We're just going to roll through. We don't have to go through every game, of course, but we'll roll through most of them. We'll go through the big ones. Yeah, right. And there's a lot of big ones this week, right? There's a ton of them.
Has there been a bigger opening weekend, like 1 versus 2, and all the ranked games there's going to be, and the interesting games like Bama at FSU, which I happen to think is a little bit more dangerous than people maybe give FSU credit for. It's a big year for FSU.
I wonder.
LSU, Clemson, a lot of intrigue there.
Yep.
Carson Beck, the $5 or $6 million, however much man he is, down at Miami playing Notre Dame Sunday night. So,
yeah, I think you'd have a hard time finding a better slate. I mean, if you went back and looked at it, there can't be too many of these 1 versus 2s or 1 versus 3, whatever, Ohio State is.
Right off the bat.
What you look at. Right off the bat, like first game, noon.
Out the gate.
Noon. You don't have time to settle in. Not a night game. It's noon, and you're going to see Arch Manning, who's the heir apparent, right? We might as well just lead into this. We'll start with the big one here. Let's hear what's right here. So this guy right here, Arch Manning, he's a Manning, all right? And I'm sure you wish he was at Tennessee right now. That would be nice.
That would be. I would feel a lot better going into this season for sure.
Yeah, I bet, for sure. So you'll figure it out over the course of the podcast and the season you're watching this. Chris is a huge Tennessee fan, and I'm a Michigan fan, so we'll try to be unbiased, but, we're not perfect.
No.
It's going to be difficult. So we're
going to be biased.
I should try, but yeah, maybe we won't try the hell of it. Let's just do it. We got Arch Manning, right? And then, so Ohio State's breaking a new quarterback, Julian Sayin. Kid was recruited, 5-star kid, went to Alabama. Nick Saban leaves. Kid decides he wants out of Bama and heads to Columbus, Ohio. And he sat behind Howard last year because Howard is a good football player and led them to a title, sad to say. Although they did have one blemish on their record on November 30th. That was okay.
Who was that?
Let's see.
Mays.
Syracuse? Was it Syracuse?
No, it was not Syracuse. I sure hope not.
Saturday, I guess. That's the noon game, too. So you'll be in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You won't even get to see this game. You're going to see the highlights and watch a post game, but he's going to be in hot Atlanta watching the Tennessee-Syracuse game. So that'll actually be a good game, too. I'll be flipping back and forth on those. Actually, I'll have at least a couple TVs going, the iPad going, and just, settle in for a nice day of just nothing. Just watching football, eating poor food probably. Bourbon will be mixed in at some point, whenever that is. And then, it's like all day. Like I could get up and watch game day at whatever, 9 o'clock, and then stay up late for the late show, which will be
that one's interesting too. And that's yet another storyline that ties back to Tennessee is Nico's debut at UCLA versus Utah. That's right. That's a late kick too, like 11 o'clock.
I know those are, teams are maybe struggling a little bit, but that's a game we could talk about. Like that's sort of, you can speak to Nico as a former Vol, and it's a Big Ten teams now, which is weird to say. And then Utah is always Utah. They're gritty, tough, fun to watch. But back to this Ohio State Texas game. What are your initial thoughts on this, and what do you expect to see out of Texas?
Well, I mean, it starts and ends with Arch, right? I mean, he's got a national championship roster, probably the top three, definitely top five roster in college football. So
Yes.
there's no excuse to fail. I mean, you have every tool. You got one of the best play callers in Sarkisian. That's going to be calling plays for you, teaching you how to play quarterback. He's taken like less than 100 snaps in his whole career at Texas, so it's going to be a learning curve. I expect it to be kind of clanky
Yeah.
at first, I would
I think
say,
it'd be
and
sloppy.
then as the game kind of goes along, I think you could see him start to settle in. And if he makes a big pass or starts to kind of get a little bit of a roll, get hot, then that talent starts shining through, and he's as talented as any college quarterback you're ever going to see this year. He can run. He's big. He's got the arm. Makes every throw. He does all the cliche stuff for quarterbacks. He does it. So if Texas comes out and Arch looks good and they get up a couple of scores, then things can start to happen. Then you get introduced to Arch Heisman right
Yes.
off the bat because he's
Yeah.
already in the discussion. But he could have the moment first game of the year noon kick in the horseshoe. That's how
Yes.
big it is. You could see the arrival of Arch Manning to college football Saturday. Um,
Absolutely.
the Texas defense is no joke, so Sayan's got
Nope.
his work cut out for him. So
Yeah, I think that Texas defense is as good as most of the country, right? I mean, that's I guess if you're going to go into a season opener, if you're Sark with a green quarterback, he's not young. He's young in as far as snaps he's taken, but he's a older kid by now. But if you're going to go in there into Columbus, you got yourself an elite defense, you got elite skill guys, and you're playing against a team that's breaking in a brand new quarterback who's taking no snaps. So and also a defense that lost a ton of players to the NFL and just to graduation. So this Ohio State team, I'm not saying they're going to be down at all, but if you're going to catch Ohio State at the right time, this would be it. Right,
for
this would
sure,
be the time to shine, and I'm a little surprised it's a pick'em game. Basically, it was the spread was at 1.5, something like that. Yeah, 1.5 in Columbus. So yeah, I tend to agree with all that. Like this is the Arch Manning time to shine, and I'm excited to watch it because I think I love the Manning family. They're charismatic. They're a great football family. Um, Peyton's one of the funniest guys in sports like history, and obviously one of the greatest quarterbacks as well. But so he's got the lineage, and I don't know. Arch sounds like a good kid too. Like like just wants to play football and be a good
he could
teammate.
have went. He could have went anywhere
Yeah.
after when yours won the job last year.
Yes.
He could have went in the portal and went anywhere he wanted to go, and played last year. Been a starting
Yep.
quarterback last year, and in a
Yep.
lot of places. And
Right.
the fact that he stuck it out, that's kind of the Manning deal. Is
Yes.
they were there, they're like, hey, you give them your word, you're going to stick to it. You're going to play at Texas. You're a Texas Longhorn, and that's what you're going to be until you move on to the NFL. There ain't going to be any of
Right.
this jumping around. Cooper Manning, his dad, I mean, they all the Mannings, they were Archie did a great job raising them. They're all
Yeah.
just, I mean, up and up. They're great people. So it doesn't surprise me. He didn't. That's one that didn't surprise me. But it would have been well within reason had he done it.
Absolutely. Don't want to be like another kid. Like no, this guy's ultra talented. He could win anywhere. Like literally, probably almost anywhere. I know. I'd like to see him in a Michigan uniform.
For sure. Any there's only a handful of teams that would have been like, now we'll take a pass on Arch that had
Right.
quarterback play good enough to do that. Very, very few.
Right. And there's been a few glimpses in the first year or two that you've seen, like, okay, he's got it. Like you look at some of those guys, like the way they carry themselves, the way they throw the ball, when they can run, and he, like you said, he's big, he's physical. He made a few throws and a few runs here and there last season. It's like, all right, I'm sure Sark made it extra sweet. He didn't go anywhere, but they've been worth every penny of the boosters, the oil money they have down there. But because he could have made his living, but like he's there to prepare himself for the NFL. He's a very studious kid. Like he knows the game, understands the game, and I think that him sticking around like that that shows you what an incredible teammate and leader in that team. I'm not sure if he's named captain or not, but I wouldn't be surprised based on the fact that he stuck around and kind of grinded it out, despite the fact he was a 5-star, could have gone anywhere quarterback with that name. So I think that probably plays a lot into how Texas season's going to go. So yeah,
A lot of kids would have left. A lot
absolutely.
of kids would have left.
Absolutely, and understandably, like, right, your chances of making it to the next league or next level and making money are not that great. honestly, So even if you have elite talent, look at DJ Ungalele, 5-star kid, top player in the country, fell off. Clemson says, "Nah, we're good," and he goes out to where was it?
Oregon State,
Oregon State, yeah, Oregon State, and then ends up at Florida State. Like just a complete
yep.
disaster.
And
It
was the
didn't
same
translate,
quarterback the
right?
whole time.
Yeah,
Was the
exactly, right.
exact same quarterback the whole time. Never
He
changed.
had elite talent in high school, and you see that, and like, kid's got to throw the ball. He can run. He's make every throw, whatever. And then it just does not translate. Well, I don't anticipate that to be the same thing with Arch, because we've kind of seen him play in big spots too. Like he got in against Georgia. He got his lunch ate against Georgia. That's a good welcome to the SEC too, by the way, going against that Georgia defensive line. All right. Well, so what are your thoughts on Ohio State? We're kind of doing a overall like what look at the team, like just and then we could kind of do the picks, what we think. But so what's your thoughts on Ohio State in general?
Well,
When
I
we get
mean,
to
like I
that
said, they
pick,
lost a lot. Would they lose like 19 players to the draft this year,
something like
something
that.
like that? So they're a completely different team. Young, and like you said, you want to catch them. You're going to catch them at the right time. This Ohio State team will be a night and day different team by the time they play Michigan at the end of the year than what you'll see
Absolutely.
Saturday. They're going to be completely different. So are we doing picks along the way, or are we going
Yeah.
to
Well,
wait?
yeah, we
Okay,
can do the flex along the way. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I got a big parlay, and we'll go over that a little bit later. Texas is one of them. They're one I took Texas straight up money line. That's not. I don't want to touch the points because that stuff. I'm hell if I know how the points are going to be
Yeah.
spread, right?
Hell
Yeah,
if you know, hell if we know, hell if I
yeah.
know. Yeah, right.
So I do my money line. I think Texas goes in and wins this game. I think it's close. I think punts ain't bad if you're either team. Field position's humongous. Everything you know about football. But I'll take Texas in this game. I think they get it done. I think this is the jump start of Arch, and I think Texas is. They win this one. They're gonna. I don't know who beats them. I mean, maybe Georgia, maybe,
Right.
but we'll talk about that coming up too.
Sure. Yeah, they have some tough games. They got to go to the swamp at some point, which may not be difficult.
Yep.
I mean, maybe I don't know. Who knows? That's a whole other thing to talk about. But yeah, I mean, this Ohio State team, they're not lacking talent. I mean, they have Jeremiah Smith still. I don't know if you guys remember him. He's a pretty good football player. I mean, this is a hyperbole perhaps, but he may be going to be the greatest wide receiver we've ever seen in college football. Period. Like this kid could play in the NFL right now, and I wish he would. Honestly, it'd be a lot easier to stomach watching. But he's fun to watch, right? I mean, he's excellent, and that's a guy um, who's super elite. But then they have another 5-star kid on the other side. No one talks about in Carnell Tate. So they have elite. They have other couple of kids, Brandon Ennis. They have just wide receivers stacked on top of each other, and they don't have. There's enough room on the field for all of them. So it's a good problem to have, I suppose. But they also have the other arguably the best player in college football in defense, Caleb Downs, too. So that's pretty good at anchoring your defense. Been there for a couple of years now. They did bring Buck. Yeah, exactly. Built in the Bama Lab and mailed to Columbus somehow. That postage was expensive, but it was probably worth it for Ryan Day, helping get that title. So he's back for this third year, I guess it would be. Is that right? Second year? Second year, must be second year. So they have talent, right, on both sides of the ball. The one questions I have about Ohio State is a little bit is their offensive line. There's a couple spots that are like, they're a little iffy. But they struggled a little bit off and on last year. Some guys got hurt and obviously play well eventually. But it also helps when you have two stud running backs in TreVeyon Henderson and Judkins. So
yeah,
they can make up a lot for offensive line woes to some degree. And, when you can throw the ball down the field successfully, you're going to do well there too. So I think Ohio State has a really good year. Julian Sayin seems to be talented. Like he can make the throws. I do wonder about his size a little bit. He seems on the smaller side. I mean, especially compared to like a Will Howard, some of the kids they've had in the past. So I don't know if that'll catch up to him or not, but they seem to love him, and he won the job, a couple weeks ago over their other kid, Lincoln Kleinholtz. So I anticipated seeing that happen. But I'm with you. I like Texas to win this game, mostly because they have what I think, at least is on paper, a better defense, more experience on offense, especially at quarterback. Now, Arch doesn't have tons of snaps, but he has a lot more game experience and practices under his belt even than Sayin. So I think that'll go a long way. I also agree with you that it'll probably look clunky early on. Like there's 3 and outs and some punts and, maybe a delay of game or something like that. Those 2 quarterbacks are not gonna come out perfect, right? I'd expect they wouldn't. If they do, my goodness, that's quite the preparation, but I expect Texas to win. I'm not saying they're gonna blow them out, but I think they win by, like,
No.
10. I think they put it away. It's not gonna be like a last-second play or a last-second field goal. I think they control the line of scrimmage on both sides, Texas does. Arch can make some plays and, down the field too, not just because 'cause they're gonna need to stretch the field a little bit, I think, and they can do that
What's
with
that
that
over
talent.
under? What's that over under up
Over-under is
there?
47.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's
So
like
that's
20,
low 20s.
24, 24. That seems about
Okay.
right? I don't
I
think this is
think
gonna
it
be a
does.
60 to 50, although I'd like to see that.
No, definitely not. It ain't gonna be that. I think any team gets to 27, right,
Yeah,
is
27,
winners.
28.
Yeah,
I
I think
agree.
they're winners if they get
Absolutely.
there.
Right, and I think the one thing that's the ultimate chess match for me is you got Sark, who's obviously an offensive guy, right? Really bright offensive guy, going against Matt Patricia, calling defense for Ohio State. I like
That's
Sark in
pretty
that
good.
one. That's like I like Sark in this one. So, that's Ohio State losing Jim Knowles to Penn State. That was quite the blow to their defense. And then you bring in Matt Patricia, who's, he was on some Super Bowl teams, but how much of that was him or how much was a Belichick and that kind of thing. And, he was with the Eagles last year, I think it was, and they're like, bye-bye. We don't want anything else to do with you. I
Yeah.
gather
Didn't
the
even bother
Lions
trying to keep
fans
him.
can't stand him, right? Yeah,
Right.
I who knows? Like, there's enough talent there that you can throw it out there, and Sonny Styles will save a game for you because he's an elite linebacker there for Ohio State. So I think they'll be okay overall in the season. But yeah, Texas. I'm with you. I don't know if I'd touch that over under, but I'd like Texas to win straight up and certainly cover that 1.5 too.
Is that the first time the number 1 team's ever been an underdog first game of the year? It's got to be,
That's my
right? I think I
understanding.
heard that
Yes.
somewhere. Yeah.
It is my understanding that is true. That's just the way to start the season, right? I mean, like, good
That's
grief.
awesome. So good.
Yeah. So let's see what else we got. We can touch on the Syracuse and Tennessee
Yeah.
game. I don't know.
Real quick.
Tennessee's going to have a lot of trouble with them. Yeah, I guess actually this might be a good time since we're early to start, and this is the preseason preview / pick'ems game. What tell us about Tennessee? What's your outlook for them, especially with Nico hitting the road and going to La La Land?
We'll see on that. The quarterbacks generally make the biggest jump under Heupel in year 2, and that would have been Nico this year because his second year full-time starter. Of course, he's gone, and now you bring in Aguilar, and he didn't get here until the fall, well, summertime. So We'll see how much they let him go. Running game will be good because there's one thing they do is they run the ball well. They always do. They're not quite as talented as running back. Dylan Sampson gone, but Aguilar can run around a little bit. Peyton Lewis will be fine. Deshaun Bishop's going to run the ball for him too. So Star Thomas transfer from Duke. So it'd be kind of a three-headed end. Whoever's got the hot hand, Heupel will probably kind of stay with. Defensively, they're going to be good. They're going to be good again. As long as they stay injured or as long as they stay uninjured. Jamal McCoy, coming off an ACL tear, he tore it in just regular workouts in the offseason. Not during a game, not during a practice, just doing some workouts and just tore it. So he's already back running around.
Okay.
You probably won't see him till Georgia, but they're going to be good on defense. So I got them right around 9-3. They could be 10-2, depending on third game of the year, which is Georgia.
Right.
They could be 8-4. And then you're dropping the Georgia, Bama, Florida, and Oklahoma game at 8-4, in my opinion.
Okay. Yep.
And then, but you could be 10-2. You lose at Bama and you lose at Florida because that's what Tennessee does since 2003.
Right.
So you beat Georgia, 10-2 looks really, really clear in the windshield. Whereas you drop that game, now the 8-4 starts to come in depending on how you look in that game. Because Joey Aguilar is not going to be. You talk about clanky passing games. Expect that to be the case with Aguilar being first year in this offense. So, but the Syracuse, they've had to replace everyone. Fran Brown for Syracuse can coach, so they'll be well coached. But they just don't have the horses. They were one of the worst defenses in the country last year, and all the good players left. So they're replacing the whole offensive line with transfers and underclassmen. It's just I can see it being a bloodbath on the offensive side of the ball for Syracuse. I got this I got them covering. It's like 13, 14 points. I take Tennessee to cover. I got them in my parlay and on my week ones, just winning the ball game outright, but they could cover easy. I got it like a lot of rushing yards, probably 38, 45 to 10, somewhere in there. I
Sure.
just think Syracuse
Sure.
has a really tough time moving the ball, and they have a really hard time getting in the end zone until, they start bringing
Garbage.
to Tennessee. Heupel starts bringing in people from the bleachers to start playing.
Yeah. And you guys are on the road back home by then.
Yes, yeah, hopefully early fourth quarter. We're on 75 North trying to get home before LSU Clemson kick.
Yes, right.
That's the plan.
Chris lives in the Knoxville, Tennessee area, so he's got about a 3-hour plus drive to Atlanta to the game. But that's dedication. Get up early, go down, watch the game, get back, watch more games.
Exactly right.
You're
That's
going
going
to
to be the
sleep well.
plan.
Hope you're not doing anything Sunday because you'll be worthless.
Well,
Probably
Sunday
worthless anyway.
is the Wing Festival here in Knoxville. For those of you that may be watching, so anybody that'll be watching this Sunday, Wing Festival, and then fantasy football draft that night. So big weekend. Life is good.
Yes. Not to mention the fact, we'll talk of the game, Miami, the convicts and Catholics playing on Monday night too. So there's that to be excited about. One thing about this schedule I don't like, and this is just nitpicky, I know, but I don't like Georgia third game of the year and Florida the second to last game. That should be flipped. That's traditionally, you don't have Florida in late November. That's silly. Who made this schedule? I don't like this at all.
The good thing with having Georgia this early is they're going to be starting Gunnar Stockton. He was not good. He was not good against Notre Dame.
That's true. Yeah, he may not be settled in then, huh? Yeah.
Nope. You get him second to last game. You're getting a much better Gunnar Stockton than you're going to be getting the third game in Neyland in his third start against that, actually, because they get two cream puffs to start the year.
Sure.
Syracuse is better than either one of the teams Georgia's going to play.
Oof.
And that's saying something, considering how bad Syracuse is going to be. So
you may not learn much about Georgia then, like
you're not going to learn much about either team until that third game. Then then you're going to have a much clearer picture, as I said before, of what they could be.
Yeah, I only said that because Florida's always been a September game. Florida, Tennessee got like a September game. And also, maybe to your point, it's probably right, is that Florida maybe have an interim coach by then with that Murderers Row schedule they have. So, and DJ Lightweigh's not exactly made out of stone either.
No, he's made out of porcelain.
He's a talent, but man, it seems like the kid's dinged up at minimum a lot. So we'll see. So anyway, you guys got a lot of good, fun games to watch. You got at Bammer, you got at Kentucky, got Oklahoma. You got the UAB game mixed in there, and Mississippi State should be a train wreck, I imagine.
Arkansas at home for some revenge.
Arkansas home. Yep.
They're not supposed to be very good.
No, they can't be very good.
Quarterback's good though.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they'll have that. I mean, that can help you eventually, pull out a win or two, but I think they're going to struggle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Then, the roster's not good.
No, right. Then you get that typical SEC game late November, middle November, to kind of a tune-up, like a spring practice, basically, like New Mexico State. And although we should talk at some point about SEC going to 9 conference games next year, a couple of years maybe? I forget when they decided it's going to. So that's huge.
Yeah. And that kind of went down because of the Big Ten. Because the Big Ten was like, we're not going to do 16-game playoff or just 16-team playoff until the SEC goes 9 games. And so SEC is like, well, I guess we'll go 9 games. And the Big Ten's okay, let's sign off on 16-team playoff. So let's do it.
Right. Then I hope they do some sort of cross-team, cross-conference rivalry game, like
that would be awesome.
I want to see Tennessee play, Penn State and Ohio State play Bama, whatever, like those are the games we want to see. Michigan, Georgia
on campuses.
On campus, yeah, on campus, exactly. Exactly.
The Tennessee Ohio State game last year, it did go away, whatever, but that was a fun atmosphere. Yes. It was a great game day. It's cold. That's what it's about, man. That's what you playoff football. That's how playoff football should be, right there.
Right. Not in the Superdome or the Mercedes-Benz, that's a nice place, but it's like it doesn't have any of the charm of a campus stadium and the energy and the pageantry, the bands and everything. Like it needs to be on. That's why we love it. Like if college football is played in just a boring little stadium, and like probably it's similar to when you're watching New Mexico State. If they're home fans are like, I guess I'll go to the game. There's nothing else going today. You get free popcorn and a drink if you show up early. So
it just feels different.
Yes,
it just feels different when you're on campus for a game. The feeling's different. It's especially when it's cool outside and the leaves are turning, and it's just a different feel than walking around Mercedes-Benz Stadium,
right?
Or the Superdome or whatever.
Also, I also prefer college to pro, NFL. I mean, like, I've been to a couple of NFL games. It's fun, but it doesn't have that energy and that excitement. And maybe that's a lot of the young people and there's like this tradition and things, but it just doesn't feel the same as NFL to a college game. So I think that's always going to be why I'll pick a college game over a
Right.
pro game. All right, so we went through
Was that 31-7? Go back up, Boise.
Good grief. Wow. Well,
By the way,
so
folks, you listen
yeah,
to this. Last night, Delaney and I were talking, and I said, and we said and talked about it. South Florida and Alex Golesh can flat coach football. Don't be surprised to see them win that game. And then they go to Gainesville next Saturday.
yep, that's potentially trouble. Like, this is not what I anticipated. I thought it'd be a close game. Boise traveling across the country to Tampa, and
Thing with any
woof, they're
school
getting
in Florida is
pushed around.
dangerous
Yeah,
because you could take a charter bus, leave campus, and go within 100 miles of your campus anywhere in the state of Florida and pick up talent enough to beat a lot of football teams.
well, yeah,
Not
absolutely.
upper echelon because they recruit nationally, but something like this, a Boise, who
Yes.
if you get a chance to go back and watch this game, one thing you'll notice is South Florida is way more athletic than Boise.
Yeah, huh?
Immediate on defense, they are flying around.
They're a 3-hour drive from all kinds of talent, right? Even within that radar, that range. You know, what's funny about the Syracuse about talent? They did pick up a 5-star wide receiver. They beat Michigan for a 5-star kid out of Miami, Florida, of all places. Pick Syracuse over Michigan. So
God,
that just shows you where we're at with NIL and that kind of thing, right? Like that's unheard of,
they
right?
spent it all
So
on that kid.
yeah,
They had to have.
yeah, absolutely right, exactly. So I don't know who's going to throw the ball to him.
No,
We'll
nope.
see if he ends up there. But
Hope the money's worth it, bro, because you ain't
That's
gonna
not-
win games.
that's right. Yeah, I don't listen. I mean, I'm a little biased, right? I would assume that Ann Arbor, Michigan, would be a more pleasant place to live than just
Syracuse, New
boring
York.
ass Syracuse, New York. Like, it's not a great place. It's not a great place at all. But whatever. Hey, listen, take the money, take it. You're not guaranteed that money. You know,
Nope.
after school, get your
You're worth
education,
what
get your
somebody will
NIL.
pay you.
Absolutely. All right. Did you watch any of that Kansas State Iowa State game?
No, that I've seen
Yeah.
some highlights on it. The first thing you notice is they need to do better painting the lines in the field.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they should do better. Like, keep Farmageddon in the United States. You got 2 land grant schools playing in Ireland. Like, that's the dumbest thing. Like, I just, again, keep it on campus. Keep it on campus. I watched a good chunk of that game. It was entertaining enough because it's a football game of the year. I'll watch it, and some pretty good teams, but it was incredibly sloppy. The field was a disaster because it was pouring rain for a good chunk of it. Lots of fumbles and just really sloppy play. Iowa State, Matt Campbell's a good football coach. Someone's
he
going to
is.
gobble him up
Yep.
and keep him
Surprised they haven't
forever.
already.
I know, right? He's been at Iowa State for a while. Like, he's really happy there. Like, he's had opportunities, I think, but I just don't know. But
I don't want to see him in Gainesville, Florida if it goes south.
No, that would not be good for you or the rest of the SEC.
Nope.
Absolutely not. Right. So I don't know. He seems to be happy in Ames. So we'll see if they can make a run. You know, like, they're one of the top, 2 or 3 teams in that conference, I think. So I think they certainly could. Let's see here. This, we expected like Indiana and Penn State to just roll. There's not much to say about them. Like, Georgia's going to roll through Marshall. This game should be interesting because of the names. Alabama playing at Florida State. After we saw what Florida State looked like last year, it's just hard to imagine they can really turn it around in 1 year. I think Norvell's a good coach, but it was just a train wreck and snowballed. Just an awful, awful season for them. And Alabama's bringing back Alabama talent. Alabama kids grown in Alabama lab.
Yeah, the good thing here is Alabama will be starting a brand new quarterback in Ty Simpson. Tennessee finished second for him. He's from Tennessee, and yep, he is. And so it's brand new down in Tallahassee. It'll be rocking and rolling down there.
Yeah.
If Florida State can now, it'll be interesting to see Alabama running the ball because last year they couldn't run it a lick, right? Which is very un-Alabama like. And Jam Miller got hurt. He's out for the year for Alabama. So now they're doing it by committee behind him. And so what does that run game look like? If they can't run it very effectively, if Florida State can stop that and make Ty Simpson start throwing the ball around, weird things happen. So I've got Alabama in my parlay and my pick 'em. But actually, I don't know if I have him on pick 'em or not. I don't. Yeah, I do. I do have him on pick 'em. So I did take him on pick 'em this year or this week. But don't be surprised if that one's, if Bammer sphincters are puckered in fourth quarter and they need a stop or a field goal, or they need something to happen to get out there with a win.
Well, this AccuWeather said there's a good chance of rain too. So if
Yeah,
you're not
there
able
you
to
go.
run the ball much and you can't throw the ball down the field, you got a new quarterback. I know Simpson's his third year there, but like he has very few snaps. Like he was one of the guys they thought might win it last year, and he got passed up. The last couple of years by Jalen Milroe. So I think they're happy
And
with
they
him. He's the kid that stuck around. The kid that could have went somewhere else and played. So I
they
think that's
tried.
probably good for their
They
right.
tried to give him that job
Yes, they
last
did.
year. They took
Absolutely,
Milroe out, and they tried to give him that job, and Todd Simpson was terrible. Like, okay,
he
we'll
was
just
not
go
good.
Milroe.
Right. Exactly. Right. Yeah, we're gonna go with the athlete who might be a little mistake
Yep.
prone, but he can also wow you with his arm and legs. So yeah, I don't know that early on, like you said, if that stadium's gonna be rocking, Florida State fans they're gonna be juiced up again. They're ready for another season. We're back, baby. Right? Whether they are or not, it doesn't matter. That they're gonna sound like it and look like it early on. So that'll be a fun game to watch them just right after the Ohio State Texas game. Roll right into this one. So I like Alabama to win this game too, but I wouldn't be
Me too.
surprised if Florida State hung around for a while. Alabama's talent will probably, you know, overcome any kind of surge that Florida State would have. But if it's
What if
sloppy
Florida State
stadium,
gets up 10? What if they
boy,
get up 10-0 or 7?
if you're a Bama fan, are you excited by that? Are you worried about that? I would be. Your quarterback, as good as he might be, he couldn't get on the field last couple of years, and there were certainly opportunities, like you said. So Florida State's one of those teams that I'm really interested to see what they look like this year. They were so bad, like historically bad last year. Couldn't do anything right. Like the culture looked terrible. They couldn't do anything on offense. They're just bad body language on the sidelines. So if
I think they got good football players. I think they're
I think
athletic.
they do, absolutely. They're just
I
like,
just
they
think
go
they were not
get Florida kids,
interested.
right?
Yep.
No, exactly. They lose interest and, you get beat up and you're the laughing stock. And especially after you get just hammered by Georgia in the bowl game, that didn't help at all either. Yeah, we'll see what the Florida State looks like. But yeah, Bama wins this game. I think I could see them covering that 13.5. They may need a late score to kind of cover that,
Really
just
late.
to
I could
put
see
it
that.
away. Yeah, I could see
Yep.
that. All right, we're going down. Iowa State. I'd just like to be Iowa State. Matt Campbell's got to come back and play another game. I know it's South Dakota, but still, like, why are they not? Why do they not have a week off? This should be their bye week. But I don't know. I guess it's your 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. They're fine, I'm sure, right?
Well, and you take the money to fly across the ocean to
Yes.
play that game. So
Yes.
in the
That's
stipulation,
all it
we're going
is,
to pay
right?
you a lot of money, but you got to play
Right.
again. So
Right. Yeah, that's. I guess they started preparing
tough.
for that trip about a year and a half ago, like just prepping for it and the logistics and all that. So I'm probably thankful I bet they're thankful that this is over because it's so much work to get everything over there, make sure the kids stay out of trouble, make sure whatever, like take care of business. And then that's a nice flight home, though. All right, next game, Oregon. We expect them to roll. I'll be interested in watching Oklahoma, and I don't think they're going to learn much about playing Illinois State, but I only say that because Michigan plays Oklahoma on the road there in Norman in week 2. So that'll be a game I'll keep an eye on at least a little bit, see how John Mateer looks. Kid
He'll
from
look good.
Washington State. Brought
I
here.
mean, you play
suspect
quarterback
he'll
for
look really good.
Oklahoma and look good against
Yeah,
Illinois
exactly.
State.
Right. Yeah,
So
right. They brought
whatever.
the O coordinator from there, his O coordinator from Wazoo too. So you're going to have a good Venables defense. That's a given. If they can be any functioning offense, which they weren't last year, they'll have a good season. I think. I think they could win upwards of 9 or 10 games with that schedule, and yeah, we'll know more about them next. Venables really needs a win, like a big win, and winning next weekend against Michigan, that may be something that
It'll
helps
go a long way for him.
keep him going. Yeah, absolutely
He
right.
needs a good year. Like
He sure does.
they could beat Michigan week 2, and if they finish 7-5, he is. I mean,
Yeah, he's
who
probably
knows?
gone. Yeah,
Even
yeah,
if they win that Michigan game, so
yeah,
he needs a good year. He needs a good
good start.
9-10 win year to kind of solidify being there.
Right. Yep. Because they're getting kind of loud with their grumbling after
Yep.
last year. Florida should roll. See if DJ Lagway can stay healthy the whole game. K-State, again, they have a game after traveling back across the pond. Texas A&M, I don't know. Like, I'll believe when I see it with them. They have some talent, but they're kind of fraudulent. They're going to be their typical 8-4,
Mike
7-5
Elko's a
kind
good
of team.
football coach.
Yeah, he is.
He's a
Absolutely.
good football coach. It's just for some reason,
They can't
A&M
all put it
spends the
together,
money. They
man.
do. Yep. They just for whatever they just can't. They just whatever lightning in the bottle they need to catch, they just never manage to catch it.
Right. It's always just they don't have just the right quarterback, which they did with for a couple times. I like the kid they have now. I don't know if he's going to be the guy that leads them to the promised land, but they're going to be a good football team. I wonder about that. How good they are. We're not going to learn much about them unless they lose, I suppose. Keep it close, then you might understand more. All right, here's the second game of the weekend right here. LSU Clemson, which 6:30. That's 7:30 your time start. This is two teams that both have people picking them to win a title, and they have the senior quarterbacks. Clemson has arguably maybe the best defensive line in the country.
They're insane and
They're
deep.
so just
and
physical and big, and
They've done such a
I
good.
like Klubnik. Yeah, I like Klubnik. I think he'll run the offense well. I mean, he's another year in that system. LSU, they got their quarterback, right? Nussmeier's a good quarterback. I just don't know. It's just the Brian Kelly thing. It's just an odd fit. And it just seems like he really needs this win. Really
Badly.
bad. They've lost
it
the
took-
last 4 or 5 openers. Now, they typically challenge themselves. They're playing USC. They're playing Clemson. They're going to Death Valley, by the way.
Yep.
Good luck getting your season started there at night. Exactly. So that place will be rocking there. But, I don't know. LSU's not been able to put it together for under Kelly.
Please, where LSU's been short.
Yes,
That's the problem with
weirdly,
LSU
right?
is how they're going to be
Right.
on defense, and that has never been an LSU problem is defense. But it is
No.
here with Brian Kelly. It happens to be. Now they get Harold Perkins back. I think
Yes.
he didn't go pro yet. He'll be playing.
No, he's back. Yeah.
Best
Yeah,
linebacker
he's
going
only
to be
a
on the field.
junior. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they'll move the ball. Nussmeier's kind of been hurt a little bit, so it'll be interesting to
Yes.
see how much he moves around. If Clemson can get after him, then and score. I like Cade Klubnik. Back when he was a freshman playing Tennessee in the Orange Bowl,
Mhm.
you could tell he had it. I mean, he had tools. He just didn't have any experience. He was never going to beat Tennessee that year, but he was just. You could tell. It was like, oh, he could be pretty.
swing
Couple
it, man.
years, he could be good. Yeah, and boy is he. He's
Here we are right now.
And if LSU's defense is not markedly better than it has been in the last few years, Clemson could run straight out of Death Valley. Could easily
Absolutely.
happen.
I can see that. Yeah, especially if Nussmeier's gimpy. I mean, he had like patellar tendon injury of they don't kind of elaborate what it is, but like that can be debilitating. That could keep you from running around. That could keep you from being able to step up in the pocket, an extra half second, and you're on your back and that defensive line's piled on top of you.
Well, at some point, he's going to have to run for 6-8 yards to get a first down under pressure.
Yes.
Is he going to be able to do that?
Right. All night. Right. Like if that's going to add up. If he does it once in the first quarter, I just bring it, man. Just beat me.
Yep.
Because they have the good secondary too, right? That D line's going to help get that pressure on him and save those corners a little bit of time, but energy. But I
if LSU can run the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a tough time seeing him run the ball.
People really love LSU. There's people like I said, picking to win it all.
Yeah.
I think they're a good football team, but I just don't see how they put together and win it all.
I think they're another 9-3 football team this year.
Yes.
And at LSU and you're Brian Kelly, you
need some real success because you ain't from around here and you're kind of wearing thin. I don't know anyone like him in the state of Louisiana. I mean,
no, he's
his wife and kids, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it.
A few of the players.
He wasn't liked anywhere. Are cringe, man. When he's spinning around and then with the lights going with the recruits.
Can you imagine his kids having to like, Dad, what are you doing? Like, I gotta be on campus and hear people making fun of you about this. Make better decisions, Dad. I like Clemson in general. I like Clemson to win this game. I think.
Me too.
I wouldn't be surprised if they put him in a headlock and just beat the piss out of him.
If that's going to happen, it'll happen early.
Yes, right. Yep. I like Clemson to win this game. I'm going to say that, to pick a score, but I like them to win by 3 scores, Clemson. And one of them may be late to put it away for sure, but I just think they have more talent on both sides of the ball. And going to Death Valley at 7:30 at night, that's not good recipes for success.
I don't know what team in the country I would pick to go in there and win first game of the year with that Clemson team waiting for you. I don't know if there's a college football team I would pick to go in there and win.
That's a great question.
No, I don't know.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
would you trust Texas to go in there and win with a brand new quarterback? That's the thing this year is there's a
No.
lot of brand new quarterbacks.
Right. Yeah, think about the quarterbacks, like, there's not we just had a draft a couple years ago where there's several guys going early, JJ McCarthy, Penix, and Drake May. I don't get them feeling that there's this crazy amount of good, great talent this year, right? A lot of young guys, like you said, so good or bad, we'll see. Yeah, so you
There's
agree?
a
You think Clemson
yeah,
take care of business?
yeah, I do. I got him in my pick 'em. I got him on my big law 11 leg parlay that we'll talk about in a little bit.
11.
Yes, yeah, it's not far fetched. When I go through it, you'll say, oh, that's not that's why
That's
the
reasonable.
payoff's not humongous, but
Sure.
just to start the year, do something fun. But yeah, I think Clemson wins. I'm like you. I could if they get up early, 10, 14 points, 17-0, and then that defensive line can pin their ears back. That's ball game. LSU has to place at a pace where they can run the ball and let Nussmeier throw the ball when he wants to, not when he has to.
It has to.
And
Yeah, that's
yep,
going to be a problem. Right. Absolutely. Well, we could briefly touch on Michigan
yep,
a little bit.
sure.
This is season preview, I guess. Open with New Mexico on NBC. The Peacock, they're on the cock. In Big Ten playing with the cock. So, I don't know if we'll learn a lot. New Mexico had the 125th or worst defense in college football in several categories last year. They have 75 new players on their roster from last year.
Is that
So I
good?
don't know how you scout that. Like, how do you, how much game film do you have to watch of a bunch of other teams? Their
They're not.
quarterbacks from Idaho, like, so
You
they're
want to come here and play? Come on.
scouting them, right? Exactly. That's kind of what it was. So new coach brings in his quarterback from Idaho, and
And
74 other
those are like
players,
burritos and stuff, breakfast burritos and
right? Idaho is probably like, I
chimichangas,
don't know. It's probably pistols or something, right? In Idaho.
maybe
You get
tequila.
tequila, absolutely. Some hunting gear of some sort. So this is the Bryce Underwood begins, the tour begins. And, like, as excited as I am, like, the kid turned 18 years old just a few days ago. Like, my son is about to turn 19 a couple weeks, and he's a freshman in college as well. He's just studying pre-med. He's not going to play quarterback at Iowa or anywhere else. But so I think, as exciting as he is, this Underwood, he can do it all. It's huge hype. Best player since Trevor Lawrence coming out. All this stuff. Like, I'll believe it when I see it. New old coordinator. Quarterback's never taken a snap. The only thing good he has going for him is that he was able to enroll early, and he got about 10 practices with a bowl game, and then he got
Good.
15 spring practices, and he got 15 fall practices. He's got about 40 practices under his belt. So yeah, it's not a game, but like it's snaps. Like, he doesn't have the full offense, right? I'm sure maybe he has what 70% of it, maybe.
Maybe,
when
but
coaches rather want to put
the
90.
biggest thing for Underwood is he gets those 40 something practices going with Michigan athletes on the other side of the football that can run, and now he's fitting footballs into way tighter windows than he was in high school.
Yes,
So that's where he's going to pay off. And I said Michigan and Oklahoma are tuning up for next weekend.
yes.
I'm so happy that's a night game. I'll get off work, come home, pour a nice bourbon, and just enjoy that because that's going to be a fun time. Nervous for
Absolutely.
you, cussing for you maybe,
Right?
but fun for
That was
me.
exciting, though. I'm going in with, we'll talk about next week. I'm going with realistic expectations, right? I don't really know because both teams are kind of unknown. Both teams were really bad last year. Oklahoma worse somehow. Both teams have quite a bit different at quarterback and talent around him. So, like I said, we'll talk about that next week. But this Michigan team, going to have a great defense. They're straight up top 5 easily, maybe top 2 or 3 as far as top to bottom. Their defensive line is deep. They lose the 2 best interior linemen they've ever had, and Grant and Graham, but they have some guys behind them. They got some dudes behind them, and
Michigan always
they're
seems to
deep.
just find those
They're
guys,
deep.
dude.
They have
They
been
just do a good
as
job
good as
of
anyone
finding those dudes.
creating and finding those guys and creating just good to stud D linemen the last few years since Jim took over, really. And they had some under Hoke too, but like you go back the last several years, they have a good coach. They have an excellent strength coach, conditioning program. They just really know what they're looking for, who they need, and that's great because how many times you see the SEC teams that just dominate people? Why? Because they have incredible D lines and interior defensive linemen,
Yep.
right? They could stop the run, and then they have the athletes on the edge to can man up and or blitz or whatever.
And
So
that's true at every level of football. What did the Philadelphia Eagles do to Kansas City last year?
yeah,
And how'd they do
absolutely.
it? Up front
Yep,
with that D line.
up front.
And
Yep,
that's football.
right. That's how Michigan beat Ohio State. Ohio State
Hmm.
wanted to try to run the ball at him. Mason Graham was incredible. He was superhuman against Ohio State. They couldn't do anything run the ball, especially inside. And then that goes to show you how good a defensive line could keep you in a game, keep you right there.
Yep.
All you need is a quarterback with half an arm,
And then
had cancer.
you need the head coach for Ohio State to shit his pants with the best wide receivers in the
Right.
country running around. You don't even throw him the
Exactly.
football.
We're gonna give Jeremiah Smith a
2 targets.
touchdown. Yeah, and 30 yards total. 20 of those came on that touchdown. So Wink Martindale is the D coordinator for Michigan. It's his second year. They struggled early on, right? They got beat up by Texas pretty good, and then it's just him settling into the coaching
Instead of
college
Illinois.
again. Yes, against Illinois is really bad.
You know?
Absolutely. So once he settled in late, you saw what they did against Ohio State. You saw what they did in the ball games against Bama. This is essentially the same team as the Bama game because Grant and Graham didn't play that game either. So
Better quarterback play, hopefully.
yeah, well, exactly right on defense. I mean, on defense.
Oh, just defense. Yeah.
Defense,
for sure.
just defense, yeah. Offense, they a couple holes in offensive line. I'm a little worried about the left tackle. He was a kid that played right tackle last year and really struggled. Apparently, left tackle is his more natural home. We'll see. The heir apparent is a true freshman 5-star kid that was anticipating, if not starting, but playing some. But he tore his ACL a week or two ago, so he's done for the year. So that hurts his progress a little bit. But we'll see. I mean, they have great running backs. I love the kid that was a freshman last year. His name is Jordan Marshall. He ran for 110 yards in the bowl game against Bama, which Bama knew you were going to run the ball because they couldn't throw the ball. It's a sloppy field. I like him. They got Bama's running back Justice Haynes, who would have probably been starting for
That's a
Bama this year.
steal.
That Dan Miller's out. That was
a
a
steal right there for Michigan.
Absolutely. So I love their 1-2 punch at running back. Tight ends are good. They're not. There's not an elite one. There's not a Colston Loughlin this year. But they're good. They're good blockers, which is going to go a long way. The biggest question I have is obviously offensive line quarterback, but I don't know what they have at wide receiver. They have a Donald McCulley, who's a kid in Indiana, transferred in. He's a big kid, he's like 6'5", 215. They love him. They talk a lot about him, but we'll see, right? I mean, they have a couple other kids that are kind of 3 borderline 4 stars that just haven't done much. So, and also, fairness to them, though, they didn't really have a quarterback throwing the ball last year either. And there's a lot of times you look at all 22 film, these guys are running wide open. They're getting ball thrown behind them or over their head. So
it's hard to develop wide receivers if you got a quarterback that can't throw 10 yards.
Yeah, longest
how
play
are you
of
going
the
to
year.
grow up if you're not?
Longest play of the year last year, 30 yards. Come on, man.
For a college football team.
You and I could do that.
I feel like tomorrow night when I go over and watch Heritage and CAK, Christian Academy of Knoxville, I will see multiple plays over 30 yards.
Yes.
And you had one last year for the University of Michigan. That's crazy.
One, right, exactly. Actually,
it was a run play, right? Was it a run play? It had to be a run play.
Yeah. No, there was actually that was a pass play. I should clarify. Passing down the field was the 30 yards. They had 30
yards.
They had some
longer
60
runs.
And 70 yards runs.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But
that's a little better,
actually,
I guess.
There's a kid that's at Michigan this year. He's a freshman this year. His name's Eli Owens. He was actually from Alcoa. So he played Alcoa last year. He's like a run back. He's like a fullback, linebacker, tight end,
like
kind of flexy thing. Yeah, basically.
That's how they use
he
him
wants to be the next
too.
Bredesen. Yeah, they're gonna love him. He's wanting to be the next good fullback at Michigan. And dude, if that's what you want, we'll give you that number, and you just go hammerhead people. You're gonna have a home there at Michigan.
He's a good football player.
Run the ball. Yeah.
Watch him play quite a bit live, and he's a good football player.
Really? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So they're excited about him. He wasn't very high rated, maybe a 3-star, but he's he'll make up for it in energy and you need guys like that, right? That's how they do well. They recruit those kids that will buy into the culture, right? You could have as many 5-stars as you want, but if they don't like each other, they don't talk to each other, they don't get along with the coaches, you're going to be Florida State, right? or do you want to be? You have a good culture.
Talking about
You know?
Eli Owens, he's a winner because Alcoa has won like 5 or 6 straight state
Is
championships in
that right?
3A. They moved up to 4A this year. So yeah, there he's all he's done is win. So yep,
That's
getting
a
a
good.
winner, getting a good player.
Sure. Yeah. So I don't know if he'll see the field this year. He might. I don't know. And some special teams is scrub time, but probably. But they really like him, what he might bring. So maybe the biggest thing for Michigan, other than Bryce Hunter, was they got a new coordinator. Chip Kelly took him from North Carolina. So excited to see what kind of things they're going to do with him. Like some RPO stuff, and he likes to throw screens and throw the ball on the field. And so there's just so many new things on offense that we're going to see that might actually look competent. That's all they needed last year was just a guy. That's all Bryce Underwood needs to be right now or this year. Just a guy. Take care of the ball.
You ain't
No
got to win it,
pre-snap penalties.
right?
No.
Just
Make a
don't lose
play
us
here
the
and
game,
there. Yeah,
right?
exactly. Go pick up a 3rd and 7 with your legs. Go throw a dart down the field, whatever. When your safeties are creeping up because they're going to want to do that, right? Oklahoma's probably going to set 9 guys in the box until they say, "Go ahead, let's see what you can
Yep.
get, kid."
So throw it
Why
over their
wouldn't you?
head. That's how I
You
play
don't know what Michigan. That's that's why I would do it too, right? Absolutely. So they could if he plays really well and the defense plays well we expect and they could run the ball a little bit. I mean, this is arguably a 10-win team. Like it could be a marginal playoff team. But if things go south and he looks like a freshman, which is quite possible, they have 6 road games, 6 home games. So not all the road games are tough, but like you drop a couple of those, they got to play at Nebraska, they could play at USC, they go to Ohio State at home, at OU.
Michigan wins that OU game. If they're good enough to go in there and beat Oklahoma second weekend, I think 10 wins is squarely on the
That might be
table for Michigan.
actually might be the floor because that's scarier than going to Lincoln for the Nebraska
For
game.
sure.
Now, the one thing I'll say that Michigan is awful on the road on the West Coast. I don't even know the last time they won a game, like a regular season game on the road. They're traditionally go back 25 years just for simplicity. They've lost Oregon, Washington, UCLA. Um, they played some of those teams a couple times out there. Like they're just a bad road team when it comes to West Coast. So I'm a little skeptical until I see it because USC should be a pretty good team this year in theory.
Yep.
We'll see.
Another team with talent.
Another team with talent, right? They
can't
need to
seem
put it
to-
together.
Yep.
Yeah. Like
They
I
suffer the
don't know.
same thing as A&M suffers from.
Yes, right. There's just something not just right there. Like they don't have just the right quarterback play, or their defense has been abominable up until last year. Wasn't terrible, but it was better. But they still got a
Lincoln
ways
Riley
to go.
don't care about no defense, man.
No. That's why you
Let him
bring
score,
Dan
that way I
Flynn
get
in.
the ball
Do
back.
it exactly. Right. Yeah, he plays it like he's playing Madden. I just have the
Yes.
score. I'll
Yeah.
score
4th
faster.
down 16, he's going for it. Yep.
So that covers those games. Then you get some other teams that they're not going to learn too much. Ole Miss, expect them to be good, pretty good. Texas Tech is an interesting team. They're starting to throw around money like they're Texas Austin. They're buying 5-star recruits as they should. Hey, you got the money. Someone got to do it. Good for you. So we'll see. That conference is going to be a circus as usual. Be fun to watch. SMU, Arizona. So not too many other games there that we super something to talk about.
The Scatterbullus Arizona State team.
Yes, right. They still got a good quarterback play. I think I picked them to win that conference. Probably, actually.
Probably.
I think they'll be good. Yeah.
In the playoff again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. They may be fringe. I don't know, but I expect them to be right there with the playoff hunt late in the year. I would not be surprised if they're in there. And then Vautech's a team that no one has talked about in, I don't know, how long has this been since they've been relevant?
Well, it's been a while, but the thing with that game right there is one of the best quarterbacks in the country that no one talks about is Lenore Sellers from South Carolina.
Absolutely right. Yeah, he's a man. He's a big human being and very talented. So yeah, he's fun to watch. That's worth watching. It's Sunday at 2:00, 3:00 Eastern. What you got
to
do?
Doing anything then?
Just watch this.
Nothing's happening
That's
that
also
Sunday.
Mercedes-Benz.
Turn on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things which you wish Virginia Tech was circa 2009 or something when they're talented and play well.
Put up a fight.
Yep. And then we got the final game of the kickoff weekend. And it's on Sunday night. I thought it was actually on Labor Day. It's Sunday night, sorry. 7:30 ABC, the primetime game. Catholics on the road with the Convicts. And two teams that I think they have a lot to prove, in particular Miami. Like Notre Dame's coming off a title game, we're right there, parents. So I think they reloaded pretty well on defense. They got a new quarterback, CJ Carr, who's Lloyd Carr's grandson, by the way,
Right.
playing at Notre Dame.
Right.
So there's that.
We are.
His first game in the Hard Rock Stadium. That's a tough one. That's going to be a tough one to open up with. Cristobal, maybe does he have the hottest seat? It's maybe not as hot as.
It's not as hot as Napier's.
Not Napier's is probably the hottest, certainly in Florida, right?
Yes,
Florida,
for sure. But it's time to get out the pot if you're Cristobal. If you're Miami, it's time to. We're buying you. We've bought you tons of talent, dude. We've spent the money. It's time to show your work.
Yeah, they had. So
we bought your quarterback.
We bought you another quarterback. Last year we had a great quarterback, right? And you still look awful at times. I don't know. I'm gonna believe it when I see it with Miami. It's just been too long since they've been really good and disciplined and played football that's consistent and sustainable. I just till I see that under Cristobal.
Play a little bit of defense.
They have some guys back from the defense.
Yeah. Well, what did I say?
Flaking out. Yeah, well, sure. They end up flaking out and making a play or two here and there, and they give up a big play or whatever. The offense turns the ball over and or they're not taking a knee and they're fumbling the ball. It's just things like that you just can't do. And their schedule's not terribly difficult. This is a Miami team that should absolutely be in playoff contention late in the year. Yep. I don't know that they will. Year. Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. So
you had a generational offense last year.
Right.
With a generational quarterback.
Yes.
And you managed to squander that and not even make the playoff. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So this year, I mean, they have Carson Beck's a good quarterback, right? I mean, like, you talk about a guy living the life. Goes from Athens to Miami Beach, Dayton won the vendors and get a nice $8 million thing. I bet it's more interesting to be in Miami than Athens. Just a hunch. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep.
Just a hunch.
And sitting around in the armpit of Georgia.
Yes. Right. So I don't know. Like if Notre Dame had some veteran quarterback play, I'd be inclined to take them. But see, spreads Notre Dame by 2.5. That just seems. I just don't believe it. I'm going to say Miami wins this game. It might very well look sloppy. I think they make enough plays and they cover that 2.5, and I think they win straight up. I like Miami to win this game.
Miami, if they can get some stops, they could beat Notre Dame. This game, man, I don't know. Notre Dame is so Marcus Freeman.
Yes,
they're just so. I mean, they know exactly who they are. He is. I mean, they are lunch pail guys. You hate to use those cliches, but that's what they are. They're hard nosed. They hit you. They're physical. I could see them going there and beat Miami. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see them go in there and just make it a sloppy bar fight and get out of there 20-17, and just make it just nasty, make Beck turn it over and just.
That Notre Dame defense is legit. I think.
Yes,
so
I'm going to go with Notre Dame.
Well.
I think they're hard nosed. I think they'll out tough Miami. I think, especially if it's close in the fourth quarter,
I would agree
it's Notre Dame all day, because I think they will just make winning football plays where Miami will do their best Miami and squander it, because that's what Cristobal does.
And I think if Carr comes out and he plays well and makes some good plays and gets them down the field and scores a couple times, they could put Miami in a headlock and embarrass them.
Notre Dame's going to move the football, because I don't know. I mean, that Miami defense might be better, but they have to be better because their floor last year was terrible. Right. So you can't go anywhere but up. And so they might be a middle of the pack ACC defense, and that's not going to be good enough to. I don't think that's good enough to beat Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's going to move the ball, and I think Notre Dame's going to get stops. I think they're going to force punts. I think they're going to use field position. I think they're going to run the clock as slow as they possibly can to shorten the game. And I think they just fist fight them and get out of there with a last second win. And Cristobal's ass is on fire from the seat after it.
Boy, well, who does Miami play the next week? Don't they have Florida?
Not the next week.
They had a couple games between that and Florida, so they got to go to
South Florida though.
At
Watch
good
at South
boy.
Florida. There's
You
those
lose this
guys
game
again.
and you're playing around with this game. South Florida, boy, that might be the team to watch this year. Funny, 34-7 final. Oh,
Nothing
that's
would
not
make me
final, I guess, yet,
happier
but it's
if they went into Gainesville next year and won, dude. A man.
that would be hilarious.
Yes.
Absolutely. So that's the big rundown of this week's. Any games we missed or games you want to talk about or topics you want to talk about?
We hit the high notes. I said that's it's a heck of an open weekend. It's finally here. It's upon us.
Finally.
So it is squarely in the windshield now. So I'm ready for it.
Enjoy it because it's gone and like that. Like how's the football season just disappear? Like those games just stack on top of each other. Next thing you know, like, oh, we're 7 games in the season. Like what happened? It was just like August.
Yep. And before you know it, the college football rankings, the playoff rankings will be out.
Yeah.
And that signals the end, when they start bringing
it's over then, right? Yeah.
And these rankings, and see what you think about this. I'm a big proponent of you don't even have these until 6 weeks into the season, 5 weeks into the rankings, any kind of ranking. Just teams play, and then they rank them at the end.
This is all just for Vegas betting.
Yep, for sure.
Because it means nothing. Like Florida being a 15 seed or ranked 15th. I disagree with that. Florida's not shown me that they're a top 15 team in the country.
Nope.
Not yet.
They can be.
Not yet.
They got their talent's not bad. They got a roster they could be.
Right.
They got a quarterback where they could be too. Then they also have a quarterback that could sprain his ankle and high ankle sprain it next week or on Saturday.
Walk into class.
Yep. Yes. Yep. In the pothole that's in Gainesville parking lots or something. So
he tripped over his jorts or something.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
All right. Well, we're going to do a segment that's we got to have a better name of it. Chris's picks. This is his picks. You want to make some money, he's going to make you some money. It might be $3.50, but that's money in your pocket. So
Chris
it
might be this week for sure. Yeah. So what I did is we're going to do a year-long experiment here. And over the last 5 years, SEC home teams are about 70%. This is in their stadium, 70% winners, 69 point something, right, is what it comes to. So about 70% of the time they win. So what I did is said, okay, well, let's just test this over the long haul. So I start off, I bet $120 in there. And then I went and found every SEC home team and bet $20 each on those guys.
Okay.
All righty. And the odds makers, some of these were so bad, they wouldn't even let you bet. You couldn't bet on UGA. You couldn't bet on Vandy. You couldn't bet on Arkansas. You couldn't bet on Florida. And you couldn't bet on Missouri. Not money line. You could bet against the spread and the over-unders. Not straight up. And that's what we're looking for is, again, just straight up, who's going to win the football game? 70%. In over the last 5 years, the SEC's 331 and 49 at home on their home fields. And 149. That's 69%. So
that's a pretty good odds there, dog.
Fun fact. So who would you say is number one in home field winning percentage over the last 5 years in the SEC? You could probably guess it in one, but you'll definitely get it in two.
Well, it's got to be either Bama or Georgia. I'm gonna say Georgia.
Georgia's third. 29 and 4, 87%. Alabama.
Pretty good.
Alabama 32 and 3, 91.4% winners at home. Two's LSU, 31 and 4.
Okay. All right.
88%. My beloved Vols come in at 12, 22 and 14. Holding it down at home.
Yeah, hold it down. Hey, you got your head above water barely, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right. So on these money lines, week one. Now I went a little off script week one because of all the non-bets I could make for SEC teams. So I went ahead and took UT to win in Atlanta for $20 over Syracuse, and I also took Bama to beat FSU away, even though that's obviously away from Tuscaloosa. So those two I just took first weekend because I didn't want to. I was running out of games to bet on.
Sure.
So I've got 20 on A&M, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, South Carolina, and UK. So
Okay.
$120 if I hit every one of those games wins us. Are you ready? $21.02. The
It's
OU
like,
Illinois State game.
yeah,
If OU wins, I'll win 4 pennies.
4
4
pennies,
pennies for
not
$20.
$4.
Yeah,
Wow.
not a great investment, but this is how we're doing
No,
it. This is the
just a
long haul,
curiosity thing.
right? This is the long haul.
Yes, it's week 1.
This is 70% over 12 weeks, not week 1. Next week's going to be trash too. Just get
Right,
ready,
yeah,
folks,
exactly.
because
Watch
it's garbage.
statistics just take a nosedive this year.
Right. Probably they'll win like 30% of the games.
Right.
But as you get in the league play, this is where the 70% is really going to hopefully make us some hay. So we're $120 invested right now, week 1, show 1. And then in 12 weeks, when we've done 24 shows or however many shows we've done, then we'll see what's in our bank. We're going to add up our records, see our winning percentage to see if it holds true, how much money we won. Because however much money I win every week just gets divided evenly between all the teams that are at home, and then I reinvest it.
How do you reinvest 4 pennies with 12 teams, whatever?
Well, it's $21.02. So you divide that by however many with your $120, and assuming all these teams win.
Okay, right.
All right. So then we did a parlay.
Okay.
Only reason I did the parlay is I had an extra $30. I did $150 in Bet ESPN. By the way, folks, this is Bet ESPN is what I'm doing. So I just deposited $150. And so when I got to the end of this, all the home fields, I couldn't money line a lot of teams out of the SEC. So I chose Tennessee. I chose Alabama just to make the bets. Well, I come to 120. I was running out of teams. I was like, well, what the hell am I going to do with this $30? Like, okay, let's do a parlay. So this parlay, $30, we win $479. It's 11 legs. We got Baylor over. We got Auburn over Baylor. It's all SEC teams besides just a couple. Mississippi State over Southern Miss. UT over Syracuse. Texas over OU. UK over Toledo. Bama over FSU. OU over Illinois State. A&M over UTSA. Clemson over LSU. I went different on that one because I'm trying to win some money. And I think Clemson wins, as we talked about already. I think Clemson wins that ball game. Yeah. Ole Miss over Georgia State, and South Carolina over Virginia Tech. So, yeah. Out of those 11, which not Texas over Ohio State and not Clemson over LSU, out of all those games, what game you think I'm in danger of losing? So I'll tell you what, right? They all feel pretty good. They all feel
pretty good.
The Toledo UK game scares me.
Yeah, I don't.
Auburn Baylor scares me too.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I just don't know. I don't know what Auburn's going to look like this year, right? Like,
who knows?
I think
Nobody
knows. Okay, but
they got a decent roster.
Yeah, that's a team that I'm like curious to see. Florida State, Auburn, and USC are the 3 teams. I'm like, all right, what are you going to do this year? You have talent, you have the ability. I think. What are you going to do with it? So, yeah, I agree with those games. That seems like a nice parlay. I like to throw in the 2 marquee games too, right? If you want to make.
Well, yeah, that's the only way you get your odds good enough to actually do anything. So let's, their parlays never hit, and they never hit for a reason because they're parlays, right? It is. I mean, you got to have everything has to go perfect, and something always throws a monkey wrench into it. But lucky for me, if Auburn beats Baylor tomorrow night, it's a Friday night kick. It's 8:00 Eastern, by the way, tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay. If Texas gets done at Ohio State, then you're pretty much home free until Clemson and LSU. If I can go into Clemson LSU Saturday night and be perfect till that game, feel really good. I'm feeling really good about
not just
things.
From the bourbon, from the bourbon either.
A little bit of both that, and then the potential to win that, and then that 479 will go into our pot. And then that will be divided up between all SEC home teams, and then we're going to see how much money we can win this year. So 12 weeks.
That's a fun thing. Yeah,
I'm ready, and we're going to track it. We're going to track it close. We're going to keep our winning percentage. We're going to see if it's holding true to the last 5 years. my wife, who I love her to death, says, Chris, you don't ever win money when you bet. That's why I don't bet. I don't have enough money to bet and just be like, man, whatever.
Whatever, right? You're not Dave Portnoy.
No, for sure. This seems so like this should be easy.
This should
70% over 5 seasons says, and then look back over the last 5 years, how much you would have won doing this. Just the simple exercise over the years whenever Vanderbilt beat Alabama last year.
Yeah, you're exactly. Yes.
Or whenever Ole Miss beat the shit out of Georgia. And when the Ole Miss went to Florida and lost.
Yes.
We're talking about games that's been dropped. That Tennessee over Alabama.
Right.
2 years ago.
Right. 2 years ago.
Yeah. 2 years ago, that one. I mean, that team, that Bryce Young team. So
yes.
you 70% over the last 5 years, you're going to have. I mean, Tennessee going to Vanderbilt, right? You're not going to win that. You know, you're going to drop that game, but it's 70% over 12. So your return should be 70%. So we're going to find out.
12,
it's going to be fun.
Weeks, yeah.
Yep,
yeah.
13.
Absolutely. 13 weeks. All right. Well, I think we're about to wrap it up here. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors. Where's the cricket sound at? Is there a sound? Can I play a sound, a cricket sound?
Well, it's like, you need a Prestige Worldwide one. Possibly you.
All right. Well, folks, thanks for watching. Brian, this is Chris. This is Hell If We Know. And if you haven't figured it out by now, this is the most Hell If We Know you've ever seen in your life. We're going to be real and fun and take it light. But we two guys that love college football. Join us, share the page, share the show, and help us grow our audience.
Like a chair.
Have a good night. Like a chair. All right. Have a good week. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the games.
Yep. It's here.